Hey YouTube, me again. It's like my sixth video of the day. I'm just feeling particularly chatty today. This one's about ancient Egypt. I'm running a one shot very soon for the tabletop one shot group, set in ancient Egypt. I think that's an awesome place to set a one shot. Um, the it's actually become a two shot already before it even started. So it's going to be the players leaving one of the major cities in ancient Egypt. I'm thinking maybe Alexandria, so I'm thinking of setting it at the time of the Ptolemies. I mean, obviously, it's not real; it's a fictional version of the ancient Egypt, obviously, because there's monsters and whatnot. But yeah, I think around that time, so post Hellenism, post Alexander, um, they'll get a mission from the library, probably, in Alexandria, and they'll be sent to look at this ancient pyramid of one of the equerries to one of the pharaohs from many, many years ago. One of my favorite things about Egypt is that it was there forever. There's this incredible piece of information that when Cleopatra was around, she was closer to our time than she was to the building of the pyramids, which is just insane. Egypt has been there for so long. There's been an empire there for so long. It's one of the first civilizations and it became one of the greatest. I think it's fascinating that even to Egyptians, the pyramids were like ancient relics from another time. I think that's incredible. Um, anyway, I've got a couple ideas for. They're going to basically go through the desert, probably have quite a tough time in the desert, fight some Egyptian monsters, um, see some Egyptian magic. Egyptians were big into magic. They thought it was really interesting. They had divination magic and stuff, and magicians were pretty popular as helpers to the pharaoh. So I think that's quite interesting. I'll work on that. Anyway, they'll get to the pyramid, and in the pyramid, I think the pyramid is perfect for a proper old school dungeon crawl because that is basically what they're doing. It's tomb robbery, it's Indiana Jones, it is full of traps and monsters and all sorts of cool stuff. Now, I'm just going to give away a lot of stuff I'm going to put in because I think, oh, why not? My players are not going to cheat. Um, so I want to put a Sphinx in there, and I want to use the Sphinx in a way where it's not just doesn't just ask them a question or a riddle. I've got an idea that I'm not going to share with you, but I've got an idea for the Sphinx to be this creature that can control time and space and matter, and I just think it's like this almost all powerful creature that's just been bound there to the pyramid to watch over to make sure nobody gets in. It's going to be in a library, so the Sphinx is going to be in a library within the pyramid, and there'll be all kinds of ancient knowledge there. I think it's going to be really tempting for the players. I know one of the players, Andrew Knapp, has already said he's going to be playing a guy who's kind of looking for ancient knowledge and in the Hermetic tradition, which I think is really interesting. Looking forward to that. So yeah, there'll be the Sphinx, and then I think obviously we're going to end with a mummy, which I think is just incredible because I love the Mummy Lord. I think he's one of my favorite monsters in D&D. Um, so yeah, I think Ancient Egypt is a really interesting place, and I'm actually considering turning this one shot, actually now two shot, into a sort of mini campaign. So anytime players are around, they're welcome to use the same characters, and we'll go on from there and see where it goes. Um, but yes, that's ancient Egypt. If you have any ideas, if you have any comments, if you think I'm a dope, then let me know in the comments. If you have any suggestions or requests for other time periods to do, absolutely let me know. I'm kind of racking my brain. I've got Aztec, so Mesoamerican, I've got ancient Egypt, I've done, or I am doing, Mythic China. I was considering doing a Persian themed one shot. And this is interesting because the Persian Empire, at the time of the Battle of Thermopylae and all that sort of stuff, they were Zoroastrian, and so they didn't have slaves, didn't believe in slavery. Um, they were incredibly kind to the people they ruled. You could worship any religion you wanted as long as you paid taxes. It was all fine. They were very, very kind, very progressive. Um, and in counterpoint to that, the Greeks were not. Sparta and Athens both had lots and lots of slaves. They had a sort of, well, Sparta had kings, and Athens had democracy, more like an oligarchy, where only it was a democracy as long as you were a rich old man. So my idea would be that you play the Persians trying to liberate slaves from the Greeks. So the Greeks would be the bad guys. So I know it sounds pretty crazy. The Greeks are the great guys. They invented democracy. They invented learning. They didn't, though. Like there's a lot of talk about this stuff, and it kind of annoys me that the Greeks were perfect and that they invented Western civilization. And maybe they did, but is that such a good thing? Pro Persians forever. That's ranty. Anyway, ancient Egypt. Let me know what you think.